Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bridge the Gap podcast episode. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Scott.
And if I sound a little different, it's because I had a lot of fun this weekend, unexpectedly. So if I sound a little rough, just bear with me here.
Unexpectedly? What does that mean?
Well, okay, so Clemson had a home game this past Saturday, and I work catering for the restaurant that I work for. And so I did that. Game was at 3:30. So once everyone had their catering orders, I was done about 1:30. So I knew my best friend was at the game. And so I just texted her. I was like, hey, are you doing anything tonight? Since all my roommates were at the game, I was just in the apartment by myself. Sacrifices for money. Okay. And she was like, yeah, we're going to go downtown later because it's dad's weekend. So her dad was there. And then she was like, oh, by the way, what are you doing right now? And I was like, oh, nothing. I just got off work. She goes, cool. So my dad has an extra suite ticket if you want to go.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, cool. And she was like, yeah, I meant to ask you 3 days ago. I just forgot. And I was like,
how do you forget that?
Right. So at this point, it's 2:15. She was like, yeah, we just have to make sure we check our tickets in at 3. I have 45 minutes to get there.
Nice.
So I flew out of bed, changed quickly, booked it. Luckily, the shuttle that takes us to the stadium picks up at the church behind our apartment complex.
Yeah.
They saw me kind of speed walking, right?
Yeah.
So he stopped and let me get on right at my apartment. So I was like,
that's awesome.
Yes. So I tipped him $5 because I was like, you're the greatest person ever.
Yeah.
Got to game and then I'm speed walking. I'm cutting around people. I'm low-key pushing people out of my way. I am hauling. And of course, where I have to meet them, they're up the steepest hill at the stadium. Steepest hill. So my calves are screaming. I'm dead focused to get there on time. And I got there at 2:52.
Dang.
Yeah. I told you I was hauling. And her dad was like, that was really impressive. I was like, good, because I'm glad. So yeah, it was great. Right? But I do think we had a good idea to talk about parenting styles this week.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good one to talk about because I know we kind of mentioned it as a joke, but I was like, no, that actually, we could talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good topic. Obviously, parenting has evolved quite a bit, right?
Devolved.
I said right again. I'm going to have to pay a quarter every time I do that.
Oh my God. We'll make it where you have to Venmo me $1 every time and that'll make you stop.
I'd be broke. But it's obviously evolved. You said devolve. I don't know. I think there's some of it that is better now. And I try and be better based on my learning. But I still think there's a little bit of new styles that are why we are the way we are as a society now.
Yes, I agree.
So, no, it's a good topic. I think I'm interested to hear your view on parenting. And now that you've been out of the house for 2.5 years, and I know a lot of your friends had pretty passive parents, and we weren't passive at all.
No.
So I'm interested to hear what your take is, and then I can share kind of where we were and what we thought and how I was raised.
Yeah.
All that
well,
stuff.
The good thing is, one thing about your generation is everyone was pretty much raised the same way, right? So I know how you were raised. We've talked about it before. I've never looked at how I was raised and gone, I was an abused kid in any aspect.
I would hope not.
Well, let me get there. Emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever. I mean,
that make this conversation really awkward. I feel like you abused me. What?
And you're just like, well, shit. Now I'm not looking at you or the camera now. What if
you're gonna bring that up now on this?
Right this second, Lauren. No. So I did have some friends that had some pretty passive parents when I was growing up, where My friend did this one thing in high school, and her parents caught her when she was at a birthday party. And so she just got that text where she was like, "You're coming straight home. Like, when this is done, we will be waiting at the house to pick you up." And I remember her being afraid, obviously, because she knew she messed up, but not to the level that I would have been for what she had done. And I'm not going to say what she's done because that's not my story to fully tell. But if I were in that situation, I think we were at Topgolf, I would have just thrown myself off the top level. Not even joking.
Right.
I would have been like, no. Like, you can always tell how people's parents were when they're like, if the cops caught you for something and they were like, "We're going to call your parents," what would your reaction be? I'd be like, I'd tell them to just take me to jail. I don't want to call my parents. I don't want to call my parents. I'd rather get in trouble with the law than you guys, right?
Yeah.
Not because I feared you guys, but I knew you guys were going to take what I did seriously and then punish it to the caliber of what I did. And a lot of my friends never experienced that.
Yeah.
Like when I tell the iPod smashing story and people are like, I can't believe you even talked to I can't even believe you're close to your dad after that. I'm like, why? He did exactly what he should have done. I was an asshole, bro. Like, or when I tell people the few times you guys spanked me and they're like, "You're a victim of abuse." I'm like, no, I'm not. Dude, right. I was an asshole when I was 8 years old. I was a tyrant in that household. Okay. So if they were spanking me, I promise you I deserved it.
Right.
And it wasn't like it was for every minor inconvenience. Like, no. Oh, I spilled juice on the table. Whack. Like, no, that's not how it was. It's when I got caught in like, when I was throwing away my vitamins by wrapping them in a napkin for months and lying about it. That's when I would get it. But that's when it was deserved. So.
Yeah, we definitely didn't spank you a lot. I
got the stare most of the time.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, I know I spanked you a couple times, but I don't think I spanked you more than a handful. Like, literally, I don't think I did. Because there's a small window of time to spank a kid, right? Like, 0 to 2, you're not really spanking, right? It's just
because they're just
tiny.
They're aliens. They don't know.
And you just grab them, you like, don't do that. And if you keep doing it, you just grab them. Don't do that,
Yeah.
So it wasn't a ton, but there were a couple times that, you deserved it. And the way that we believe, right? Damn, I said right again. The way that we believed. And I was spanked as a kid, different generation. Everybody got spanked when I was a kid.
Yeah, you got spanked too.
Oh, I did. I broke a lot of wooden spoons on my ass from my mom and got the belt a couple times. And
I never got the belt.
No.
It was used I was threatened with it a couple times.
Well, yeah,
but I never actually received it.
And we talk about the reason why we do this. I'm a Gen Xer through and through. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of issues in this day and age because somebody hasn't gotten their ass kicked.
I believe it.
And you can see it in your generation, younger generation than you, even older generation, 30-somethings. Everybody's so used to getting their way, and everybody is so used to doing whatever they want without repercussions. And you can see it. Everybody walks around that way. I don't do things now at 50 because I got my ass kicked a couple times, and not just by my parents, right? I lost a couple fights in my day. I've won a few fights too, but there's something to be said about a physical punishment, whether it's person to person or parent to kid. You learn, I believe, and I still believe, I will always believe that the 24-year-old that bumps me in a bar when I'm there with my family and wants to front up, he never got punched in the nose.
And I guarantee you he should have been like at least 6 times.
Billion times. If you're acting like that as an adult, you deserve it.
You're looking for a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
But nobody ever did it because everybody has these now. And so everybody films everything. And so you knock somebody out and they take that video, somebody videoed it, and they send it to the cops, and then you get arrested for assault. So people don't get rocked.
Right.
And that it was completely different when I was a kid. You
and it was a little
shit as a kid. I was fearful of seniors when I was a freshman in high school because
those guys, they don't have that.
They don't have that. Those kids would kick my ass. Like, I mean, you know, and kids nowadays, your mom works in a high school, your brother's still in high school, and he talks about it, and you talked about it when you're in high school. God, the freshman class are such little assholes.
Yeah, there's no respect for hierarchy at all.
None.
It's unbelievable. Like when I was a senior, I remember there were freshmen at the front of the student section. And you know what? It may not seem like that big of a deal, but it's that big of a deal.
It's a big deal.
Because when I was a freshman, the junior seniors, when I was a freshman,
you didn't dare go
I
over
didn't
there.
dare.
No.
I took my spot on the very last row, even if I was early, because I was like, I'm just going to sit here and avoid them.
Of
like,
course.
I was a senior and I went up and I was like, hey, can you guys I wasn't even asking them to move all the way back. I was just like, hey, can you move back a little bit? Like some of our seniors want to come in. I will remember this girl to the day I die. Do I know her name? No. Bleach blonde hair, dead hair to the point it's like frizzing off her head. Okay. And you know what? All those broken off strands, that's as far as her intelligence went. So she looks at me. She's got the typical like pain on her face and everything. And she goes, well, who are you to tell us to move back? And I was like, and my friends, I'm a confrontational person just by nature because you guys have always told me do not back down if you believe you're correct. If you're proven incorrect, then you back down, right? My friends looked at me. They were like, Lauren, don't do it. Like I looked straight at them, Dad. It was like a movie where she said that and I was like
right.
This is not about to end well for her. Like I promise you.
Yeah.
And they just don't have that respect anymore.
And it starts at home to get back into parenting. I mean, I was a terrible, terrible kid. Like 0 to 14, unbelievably nightmarish. I was so bad that my mom and dad took me to the doctor and said, you better find something wrong with this kid or he's not going to live to be 7. Like I was a nightmare. And I can tell you stories upon stories of getting in fights and stealing food from people and at school, right? Lighting toilet paper on fire at the school bathroom. We used to have a hill at our elementary school. So you had the blacktop and you had the fields and then the playground. So we had full reign of everything. You could play on the fields, you could play on the blacktop for 12 square, 4 square, whatever. And then you had the playground for all the littler kids with, swings and all that stuff. And then it was a hill because at the top, if you went up here, our middle school was here and they had their own stuff. And then we called it the upper field. But you couldn't go on the bank because it was all trees and you could hide in there. So I would go up there all the time. And we used to have what they called yard duties, which I'm sure in this day and age, people would call them, I don't know, playground administrative support staff, because everybody has some stupid ass titles for everything. They were called yard duties. And to me, in elementary school, they looked like they were 100, but they were probably as old as I am now. And no, they're probably a little older. Well, one time one of them caught me and she grabbed me by the arm and I squirmed and I was fighting back. And everybody knew who I was. If you talk to your grandmother, she's always been known as Scott's mom, whether it was good for sports or it was bad for all this other stuff.
Oh, poor thing.
So they all knew who I was, but I was like, I'm getting away from this yard duty, So I swung and swung. I wound up hitting her. Bless you.
Thank you.
I wound up hitting her accidentally, but it knocked her dentures out. Yeah. Now, I was in 4th grade, so I was 10, 9. So this was a long time ago. And so I got in so much trouble. I was suspended. I was 4th grade. I got suspended from school.
I got suspended from school in 4th grade.
I got suspended in 4th grade. I got suspended in 5th grade, too, for fighting.
I only got in trouble that one time. That was it for me.
And so you better believe when I got home, I got my ass handed to me, you know?
By your mom, and then when your dad got home.
And there was a cartoon show that used to be called Wait Till Your Father Gets Home.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate thing. And so yeah, I mean, I have earned, I should have a wall of fame of broken wooden spoons or whatever. But my point being with all that is,
yeah, and then I'll go back into how I view the parenting now.
I promise you, when I did deserve to get punished, I remembered the punishment. So guess what? After that time, I never went on that hill again, and I was there for another year and a half. I had all of 5th grade, right? Damn it. I never did it again. Now, when I did something wrong and my parents just talked to me, oh, I did that for sure again. Because the boundary hadn't been reached.
Right. The limit.
The limit. Yeah, the limit I hadn't hit it. Because I knew that if I did something bad enough, my parents were going to spank me. Mm-hmm. They weren't just going to sit me in a corner and go timeout. There was no thing called a timeout when I was a kid. None, except in football. So if I didn't get that punishment, I was like, okay, I got away with this one. Shit.
Right, so it must not be that big of a deal.
Right. It clearly wasn't bad enough to warrant the punishment.
Yes.
So no problem. I'll do it again. And if I get caught that time and they smack me, okay, now I know. Okay, you've done it. That's done.
Right.
But I'm going to try it again.
Right.
Right.
Like, and that's like when I was a kid, you guys, like, I got soap in the mouth for lying, which a lot of people look at me like I'm insane when I say that. But I was like, guys, it worked. I promise.
Yeah.
Because now the number one thing I hate in life are liars.
Of course.
So it worked, guys.
Yep.
Soap in the mouth for lying. You guys did send me to timeouts quite a bit, but I also had a temper as a kid, and I have always had a temper. And so I would fight back. It's okay. I've made my peace with, I know it does. I've made my peace with it. But I would fight back. I fought back a lot. And so I'd get sent to timeout to calm down. And then if I continued to act like a brat, that's when I would get a bigger punishment. But I've never, but I knew my limits. Like you said, I've remembered every punishment that I've ever gotten for something like large.
Yeah.
It's like when it mattered.
Right.
Like if I was just mouthing to mom and you guys were like, go sit on the stair. Do I remember that exact event? No. But I remember sitting in that corner, staring at that potted plant that we had forever right there at the old house. Mm-hmm. In the like Chinese vase, the tall one. I would sit there and I would just stare at that thing for so long. And I got the wait till your father gets home because I think sometimes mom just didn't even know what to do with me, which isn't a slight on her.
No.
I just think sometimes she was genuinely like, because she even said like that big thing where I ripped that paper or whatever. And she was like, that's your kid up there. I don't know who that is. You go deal with that one. That is your temper. You go deal with it. And because that's what it is. But
well, and your mom was a stay-at-home mom, but between you being 4 and
10.
No, longer than that. Ryan was in 4th grade, so you were like 14.
Like when she went back
10 years. Oh. Yeah, for a full 10 years.
My brain's just skewed, I guess. Yeah. It's all those smackings you guys gave me. Look at what it's causing me.
Yeah, exactly. So there were times, and I worked a lot. I had a demanding job and a lot of hours and nights and weekends sometimes. And so, yeah, there were times where she was just worn out. She's like, I can't deal with that girl. So I would.
And again, I've never looked at it as an issue. It's good because it places boundaries with children. Children need to be given boundaries. They need to be told, yes, you can do this. No, you cannot do that. And if you do it again, it's not going to end well. But just saying it isn't going to do anything, like we talked about. And that's where I feel like this whole gentle parenting thing that's become a trend among millennial parents mostly. There's some younger Gen Xers that are that way. Because some of my friends, I've witnessed it. But it's an issue because It might work on like 4 or 5-year-olds, right? When you just, if they knock over the juice and instead of going, oh my God, I can't believe you did that, right? You go, so now do we see how if you aren't watching your surroundings, that's when it works. When you're getting 8, 9-year-olds that know the difference between right and wrong at this point, and they're choosing to do the wrong thing, and you're choosing to just sit down and have a conversation so that I have a healthy relationship with my kid, that's not doing anything. And they're going to continue to be an asshole because they know you're going to defend them when they get called out for it.
Yeah.
And they're just going to get a sit down. No, I'm not going to take their phone. That's their property. They're 10.
Right.
They don't have any property.
And they shouldn't have a phone at 10 anyway.
Ooh, that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic.
Gentle parenting doesn't work. And I will stand by that forever and ever. Guarding your child when you know that they're bad is also not going to do anything. In fact, it's just going to make people not respect you.
Right.
It doesn't do anything. And now I'm dealing with the younger generation coming up through the years. Like at work last night, I had a younger table and they were so disrespectful. No care for authority at all. Now, I'm not saying I am authority. I'm a server, but my job is to serve you. So when you're being constantly disrespectful to me, I'm just not going to serve you.
Right.
Like, I'm not, oh, you want a refill? I'll get to you after this table needs what they need, right? Like, there's just no respect for authority. And it makes me really, really sad because I also feel like part of the issue, and then I'll let you speak, sorry, is people, again, with the labeling thing. People want to find something wrong with how they were raised. They throw daddy issues and mommy issues around like it's a buzzword. Like, oh yeah, my dad yelled at me when I was a kid. I have daddy issues. No, you don't. He was being a parent.
Right.
Calm down. Now, if he was belittling you day after day after day when you didn't do anything wrong, then yes, that's another thing. But if he was reprimanding you for being a jerk, that's just parenting.
Right.
And people no longer want to look into themselves and find what it is that they're doing wrong because they've always been told you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. So they don't look inside anymore and go, oh, what am I doing wrong? How can I better myself as a person? They're going, oh no, it's my mom's fault because she raised me that way. It's my dad's fault because he raised me that way. And I think that's also where the gentle parenting is coming because millennials are seeing people say this and going, well, I don't want my kids to say that. And it's just,
it's an accountability thing.
100%.
And if you don't teach your kid accountability through discipline, then they're going to grow up and they'll never assume responsibility for anything. And that's why, like, the whole everybody gets a trophy mentality that was big when you guys were little.
Yeah.
I hated it. I still hate it. It's ridiculous. Guess what? Not everybody in the world is a winner. I'm sorry. It's true. Mm-hmm. Not everyone wins. It's why grown-ass men cry when they win a World Series or a Super Bowl or a championship because not everybody gets to do it, right? Damn it. So it drives me, it always has. It drives me crazy because that's where the accountability, well, my dad or my mom comes up because they grew up, their parents didn't hold them accountable. Mm-hmm. Soft parenting. Let me talk to you about this. No, there's no talking.
Well, there's talking.
Eventually, let me finish. There's talking when the kid is ready to hear the message after the accountability. So what I did differently than when I was raised is I got in trouble and got punished for it, and that was it.
That was a crisp snap.
Thank you.
I heard that echo.
And that was it. It was like, I don't even want to see you. Get your ass to your room and come down. Don't come down until I call you down for dinner. Okay. So then you go down for dinner and nobody says a word. There's no conversation. It's just on to the next. What I've tried to do different is discipline, but then I would come back to you guys later and have the conversation about why.
Yes.
And I think the balance has worked well for how we've raised our family.
Yeah.
And I'm not standing up on a pedestal. No one in this whole world can stand up and say the way I parent's the best way. I'm not saying that at all. But I am confidently saying that if you only have a conversation, or if you only have a timeout, or if you do empty veiled threats that never follow through with them, then there's no accountability learned by the kid. The kid grows up without accountability, and anytime they're held accountable, they blame their parents, their boss, their coworker,
anyone,
their friend, their dog, everyone in the world. The traffic. The traffic. Well, you know how long it takes to get here. You have Waze. It'll tell you how long. Why didn't you leave earlier? I've had to have that conversation as a professional.
Yeah.
Well, you're 15 minutes late every day. Well, because the traffic. Okay, well then set your alarm 15
Leave
minutes earlier.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I'm having this conversation to an adult, but that person was never held accountable as a kid, right? Probably. So they got up late, and their mom or dad probably just wrote them a note. Sorry, Johnny slept in, and Johnny goes in, and blah blah blah. And so it is amazing to me that people think that the timeout or the conversations, now come here, Johnny, let's talk about what just happened. Well, Johnny just took a bat, knocked out windows of somebody's car. There's no conversation to be had.
No,
there.
Not right away. Anyway.
Not right away. And everybody gets a trophy because it's an A for effort. And all that soft stuff raises a bunch of unaccountable adults that are victims of everything. And I think that we're worse off as a society because of it. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in a better spot today than we were 25 years ago. And the thing that drives me as good of a relationship as you and I have, and you're an adult now, so obviously our relationship is different, but I'm not your friend, right? Like,
I consider you actually one of my best friends.
Well, in that sense, I'm not here to be your buddy. I'm here to be your parent, your mentor, your guide, friend. I'm here to do all of it.
I was just rejected, guys.
No, you weren't.
It's my dad's fault.
But there's parents out there that they treat their kid like an equal.
Yes.
You're not equal.
Well, you know what's funny about that? I watched because I like to watch body cam and like case studies and stuff like that. There was one last night I watched where this 11-year-old kid stole a car, ran over a biker and killed them at night. And the biker had flashing lights. Like, he was aware. There was then video footage of him saying, I'm going to run this dude over. Fully admits to it. The cops go to arrest him. He's in juvenile probation room with his probation officer. Already, mom is there. They go to the interrogation room. They show mom and kid the video because mom has to be there. He's a minor. And she goes, well, that doesn't sound like my kid's voice. This is why your 11-year-old just is in probation in the first place, juvenile probation, and now is getting arrested and charged with murder as an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Because you're allowing this to happen. Well, that doesn't sound like him. Ma'am, the DNA is his in the car. Well, who else was there? It doesn't matter who else was there.
Right.
Your kid did it.
Exactly. But so that's a great example. There's another kid that I just read that he's 15. He's been arrested 39 times. And the judges just they don't punish. And that's a huge other issue where these judges are not, these cashless bails or the zero bails because we have to rehabilitate, like the guy that killed the poor girl on the Charlotte train. This whole soft space is ridiculous. If you're 15 years old and you were arrested 36 times, then you should never get out of jail again. I'm sorry. You've earned it. You've earned it.
There's obviously something wrong up here.
Right. Exactly.
You shouldn't be out.
Exactly. And it's so crazy because like we said, your mom works in a high school And there's kids that are doing stuff all the time. And there'll be parents that walk in, just like the example you gave. Oh, no, not mine, not mine, not mine. And like, well, here's the video. And they'll still fight the video.
Right.
And it's like, why are you fighting the video?
There's 800 kids in the school wearing a black T-shirt today.
No,
yeah, your kid has a birthmark.
Right. It's a
and
high
we can see it in the
video. Like, this isn't CCTV from 1978 on the corner of a 7-Eleven. Right.
And I've seen those cameras, y'all. In the high schools, they work, I promise.
They're high def.
They work.
And then you have the parents that come in that react the way that we do, which is we respect authority. Mm-hmm. We believe that the teacher did the right thing. And the reason why we're there is because our kid didn't do something. 98, 99, I don't know the percentages, but I'm willing to bet 99% of the time it's the teacher's right. I'm sure there's a margin of error of 1 to 5% of the time.
Like my teacher
like
in
your
sophomore
teacher.
year.
Same thing with police, right? I know that there's some bad police people, but 98 probably % of the time, you've earned it when the police show up or they ask you for things. There's countless videos online where the person won't talk to them, won't roll down the window, won't provide a document when they're asked, all of which is against the law, but they think they can supersede the law because they think they know better.
I don't have to give you my name.
Right.
Yes, you do. They just asked for it.
They asked for it. It's like just because you can go on WebMD doesn't make you a doctor. So stop going on Google and thinking you're a cop, right?
Yes.
You're not.
I know my rights. You don't.
No,
actually.
You don't. You really don't.
You're showing me that you don't.
98% of the people think they know. They don't. But we were the people that always came in, and because you and your brother have come home and be like, the teacher, blah, 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 blah. The teacher, blah, blah, blah. I did the same thing. It doesn't matter what generation. It happens. I did it. My sister did it. You guys did it. Your mom did it. And the first question we would ask you guys is, well, what did you do? Right? It wasn't, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. What a mean teacher. They called on you and they made you come up to the board. Oh, you poor little fragile creature. No. Teacher asked you to go up to the board. You get your ass up to the board. You do the work. I don't know. Yeah. Why are we having this conversation? So if we ever had to go to the office, which we didn't have to do very often for either of you, knock on wood, you guys knew it better be pretty damn solid evidence that the teacher didn't do the right thing. Because we went in going, okay, you are guilty until proven innocent, Lauren. Sorry, this isn't a democracy. This isn't a republic. You don't get to vote who your parents are. I can't be voted out. This is it. We're in this together. So, and this is my house. I pay all the bills. You earn the right to be part of the family by doing what you're supposed to do. We're not friends.
And again, though, you guys did a great job of that with parenting. When I screwed up, and I knew I screwed up, I would most of the time come tell you guys.
Yeah.
Like with the whole book fair thing. I didn't tell you guys right away, but when I saw Pop-Pop sitting on that front porch, I was like, I'm going to tell him first so that I'm prepared to tell my parents. I knew I had to tell you guys, and I did. You guys didn't even get the email yet before I said something. Right? So, you guys did a great job of, if I genuinely didn't feel like I did anything wrong, then I would blame it on the teacher until you guys explained, no, this is how you screwed up in this situation. But if I knew I screwed up 98% of the time, I was telling you guys before you guys found out via email, phone call, or anything. I was like, because I remember the principal even told me when I got in trouble with that. And they're like, we're going to give you an opportunity to tell your parents first. They're like, we're going to email them first thing tomorrow morning. What you do with that information is your prerogative.
Right.
So I knew. Yeah. I knew I had to come home. And you know what? Pop-Up handled that so well. He really did. Because
he was a great grandpa.
Oh, so good.
He wouldn't, I will tell you this, God rest him. I love my dad and I miss him dearly. But he would not have handled it the way that he handled it with you if it was me. I promise you that. But that's
how you're not going to handle it.
Exactly.
When I have grandkids the same way. He was so good. He was just like, he sat there. I remember him going, You look upset, Munchkin. What's wrong? Because he called me Munchkin just like you did. And I remember just staring at the road, and I went, I stole from the book fair. And he went, all right, well, he was like,
all right. I'm supposed to just be visiting. I don't know why I'm sucked into this now.
He was like, shit. But he literally went, all right, well, why'd you do that? Like, he talked me through it.
Right.
Right. And so I was like, I don't know why I did it. I just did
a kid.
it.
You do dumb stuff.
And he was like, okay, well, you have to tell your parents when they get home. And I remember just looking at him and I was like, well, you just be in the room. And he said, I will, but I'm not saying a word. So, and I remember he was in the room when I told you guys. Did he say a word? No, but he was there, and he was really good at that, being that like support. Didn't say anything. He didn't back me up. Did not defend me whatsoever, but he was there as he promised.
Yeah, he was. And you didn't get spanked for that.
No, I just got sent to my room. I didn't get talked to the rest of the night, and Mom came up and took everything out of my bedroom.
Yeah.
And so I had an empty desk and a bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was probably the worst trouble I've ever been in, besides iPod smashing. But that was, I think, the book fair. That one was really
Yeah, we didn't. So I asked you that, and I knew the answer, but because we didn't spank just to spank. It wasn't an involuntary reaction. Like when I grew up, it was almost like an involuntary reaction. I think every parent, teacher, coach, everybody could hit kids.
They did reps of that while brushing their teeth in the morning.
They literally everyone could hit you, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone. Teachers, principals, coaches, parents.
Okay, but again, hitting sometimes is necessary. Like
I
when
agree.
You told me as a kid, if anybody ever touches you first, you have my full permission.
100%.
And that kid in 3rd grade, I was leaning over my desk. He full palm on my ass. And I just knew that was my no-no square. Mom and Dad said, this is my no-no square. So I turned around, I socked him right in the face, and then I got sent to the principal's office.
And they're like, okay with it.
They're like, we're going to email your parents. I was like, do it.
Yeah, please.
Because my dad said, if I get touched first, I can hit back.
100%.
That was the rule. So sometimes it is necessary.
I agree.
It's necessary to teach that as self-defense.
I mean, any boy touches you where they should, you knock his ass out. Even today, I don't care. You could make that go viral for all you want. I don't give a shit.
Sometimes men deserve to be hit, guys.
Very rarely did I start a fight. Very rarely.
Yeah.
In my life. I've started a few because, like I said, I was young and I was born angry and I struggle with a temper. So there was a couple times that I started it, but there's times where I didn't. But I'll tell you what, I'll have no problem finishing it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I really don't. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm standing up for myself. I didn't instigate it. I didn't start it. I didn't touch them first. They touched me. There's a different story. So,
that goes back to the accountability thing too, where it's like a lot of people now, like my age, you've watched me go through this, will talk crap on your name and then act like the victim when they're called out.
Right. Exactly.
I have never hesitated one time. If someone was spreading lies about me and I found out about it, you're going to get called out. You're going to. I don't need to settle it with the public. Let them think what they think. You and I, though, are going to have a conversation, whether you like it or not. And you know what? You can go spin it and say, oh, she yelled in my face. I did it, and you know that, so that's okay. That's just you. That's okay. Say what you need to say to make yourself feel better about it. But I will not hesitate. Because someone needs to hold you accountable.
Right.
You're spreading a lie on my name that can tarnish my reputation beyond return, by the way. Someone needs to hold you accountable. And if nobody else is going to do it, fine. I will. I'm not afraid of that.
Well, we're unapologetically honest. And so
yes.
I said to you years ago, everybody wants an honest opinion until you're honest with them, and then you're an asshole. And I would rather die knowing that I spoke truth than die and not have many friends, just true friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather live that way than have thousands of friends but lie all the time.
And they're shallow friendships.
And be super shallow. I every time. And it's happened a couple times in my lifetime, including the old house where a neighbor of ours, we didn't get along after getting along, and he called me an asshole, and that's why I don't have a lot of friends, and he has all these friends, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, none of your friends are good friends, dude. Trust me. Because they talk shit about you when you're not there, because I'm there. So, and lo and behold, they moved, and guess who came to help them move? Nobody. Because none of their friends were that deep. Whereas I only have a handful of friends, but I would die for them.
Yes.
And they would die for me, right?
Yes.
And so
I would rather sit at a dinner table that had 3 chairs at it than 25.
Absolutely.
And if I were ever at a table and I heard someone talking about you negatively, I would nip it in the bud immediately. Do not talk about my friend that way. And I expect that from you as well.
And we don't go out to just tell people their outfits are ugly. Like we're not walking through a mall going, oh, that person's
ugly
fat,
ass.
that person's ugly, this person shouldn't wear that. Like we're not like that.
No.
But if there's a situation that we're involved in, whether it's our friends, our family, our community, we're going to tell you. We're going to tell you the truth. And people all day say that they like that. People all day say they like accountability. People all day say they want honesty and integrity. And people say that, and then when you do it, they crumble, and then you're the asshole. And it's the same thing with parenting. People say that they punish their kids, but you can tell they don't. Number one, because you can see how their kids act. Number two, we have 2 kids. And when we see, when you would come home, let's say from a friend's house, and you would tell us a story about what happened at your friend's house, we'd be like, there's no way they discipline that kid. There's no way.
Right.
Because of the stories you tell. And I'm not saying that didn't mean that you guys didn't try stuff. I did a ton of bad stuff. Tons. It was a lot easier to get away with it when I was younger than it is for you guys. This because of the phones and everything. But
Ring cameras.
Ring cameras. We didn't have ring cameras. We didn't have
R.I.P.
anything.
the days of ding dong ditch.
Oh yeah, we used to do all toilet papering houses.
I ding dong ditched when I was a kid.
You can't TP houses anymore. That was like a normal occurrence when I was a kid. And anyway, you can tell we still did bad things. Your mom and I expected you and your brother, and still do expect you guys to do dumb things and bad things. It's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fault that I feel that we're in as a society is that we don't punish for it, regardless of motivation. You have to be punished. Whether you meant to do something or not is irrelevant. The outcome is what matters at the end of the day as an adult. As an adult. That's why there's 2nd-degree murder and 1st-degree murder. Sorry, Judge, she really pissed me off and I punched her and she died. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Well, then you're still going to jail.
Right. It's just going to be 2nd degree because you didn't plan it.
You didn't plan it.
Yes.
Kids are the same way. You can't just give them a pass because, they didn't mean it. I don't give a shit what they meant. The outcome is what it is, and they have to be held accountable to it. So,
oh my gosh.
And sending them to a timeout for 30 seconds
does nothing.
Doesn't do anything.
I sat there for like 10 minutes.
It doesn't do anything. I mean, you can just go outside and interact in any atmosphere, and I promise you, any state in the country, probably any country in the world, within 10 minutes, you'd be like, oh, that kid never got their ass kicked. Their kids' parents didn't. I mean,
But you can also notice the ones that did get in trouble with their parents.
Well, it's like going to Target or any grocery store or anything. Some of these kids that are throwing complete, absolute fits and the parents just ignore it, that's not teaching them anything.
Well, sometimes you have to ignore it. I know Mom ignored some of our temper tantrums
because right outside.
Well, yes, but
We
there were
would bring
times
you outside and we'd be like, yo, knock it off. Don't do this. My mom would smack me right in the middle of the store if I did something like that. So I was like,
well, sometimes I will
scared to
say
death.
sometimes ignoring them is better because kids, when they're getting a little older, they look for your reaction. So if you ignore it, then they're probably eventually going to calm down and the temper tantrums will stop. But there were a few times mom did that where she just ignored it. She was just like, I'm not dealing with you right now. I'm here shopping. You're either going to be okay with it or you're going to embarrass yourself. But mom also said that. She was like, you're just embarrassing yourself. And that worked too, because as a kid, you're like, ooh, I don't want to be embarrassed, you know? But to close this out a little bit, I do think accountability is a huge thing. I think even now, as a kid, I thought the participation trophies were cool. But I also always did my best at things. So I don't know. I felt like I was getting a trophy because I knew I was doing the best at what I could do, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do remember there was one time I was on a team and a kid got a participation trophy. And I think that was the first time I remember looking at you going, he sat on the bench all season. He did not touch that soccer ball once. He didn't even do anything at practice. And I think that's the first time it kind of like clicked in my brain where I was like, why are we doing this? Because even now, you know, like I work really hard at my restaurant. And when people are acknowledged for doing the bare minimum, when I'm not acknowledged at all for going above and beyond, which I don't expect to, right? I'm a hard worker. I'm going to go above and beyond just by nature. But when they did the bare minimum of their job and they're like, you did a great job today. I'm like, no, they didn't. Mm-hmm. No, they didn't. They did not do a great job today. Stop telling them that. And that makes me upset. And it's all that gentle parenting. And like you said, you would force the punishment and then you'd have the conversation. And I do really think that that's a great way to go about it, because I needed to recognize in the moment that what I was doing was wrong. So you force the punishment. Mm-hmm. Now I'd go sit on the stair or go sit in my room, and I would sit there and I would have to think about why it was wrong, because maybe I didn't fully understand, whatever. But I remember sitting there thinking, why was it wrong? And then you guys would come up probably about 15, 20 minutes later, maybe. And it would be you or mom, and they'd be like, okay, how do you feel right now? You guys would ask that. And I'd be like, yeah, well, my butt kind of hurts. My ego's a little bit bruised, but otherwise I'm okay. And then you guys would be like, okay, let's talk about why your butt hurts and why you got spanked because of A, B, C, D. And that's a great way to go about it. You show the kid immediately. Then you go back and you revisit it with the conversation. That's how you're going to enforce rules. That's how it's going to sit in their brain. Because before they do it the next time, they'll, one, remember the punishment, the spanking, or however you decide to do it. Two, then they're going to remember why mom said it was wrong, why dad said it was wrong. And that's what worked for Ryan and I. And I'll tell you what, I think it would work for a lot more people if you punish conversation.
Yeah, I think it has to be both. I agree with you on that one. Just having
conversations are for adults, right, who already know.
Yeah, and sometimes that's not even true, because I talked to my buddy who's in the HR world, and he talks about how many times a manager will go up to an associate and be like, hey, I've been watching. Can you speed up? We got about, and they'll be like, I quit. So now they have a whole nother script of how to go about it to try and get the person to feel valued, even though they're underperforming. And
choke me out. Just take me. I'm done.
And I know how to have conversations. I've managed a lot of people in my life, and I know how to have conversations. But at the end of the day, the accountability is still going to be the point of the conversation. Mm-hmm. So it has to be. I just hope. And you see a lot of posts, I know you've seen them on Instagram or something, where it says, with everything coming back in style, I hope honesty, integrity, manners, all those types. I know you've seen that one. I see it almost like every day. Yeah. Somebody posts it or reposts it or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, then let's start. Like, let's start over.
And we can start it now, like my age.
Civilizations change and evolve, and so we were probably way over the top with the 1900s to the 2000s, where people just got beat and smacked and kicked, and okay, probably too far. This pendulum swung way over here to where nobody did anything and held their kids accountable or their people or whoever. Everybody's doing great, and no, they're not. And so maybe let's try and get the pendulum back in the middle, and there's got to be accountability. Otherwise, we are doomed as a species, not even as a civilization.
Yeah.
We're doomed as a species. I mean, there's not an animal on Earth, if you believe in evolution, right? So if you're an evolutionist, there's not an animal on Earth where the cub or the infant animal doesn't get punished by the mom or dad. Not one. There's not a single one. So, okay. So it works. It
well,
works.
and we can start it now too. Like my age of people, guys, hold your friends accountable. If they're acting a fool in public, hold them accountable.
Tell them they're being
Please
fools.
tell them they're being stupid.
Yeah.
Tell them that, guys, if your guy friend is being an absolute jerk off in the bar, remind him that's not going to get him anything. Because no girl's attracted to that. Yeah. Girls, if your friend is just being an absolute mess, please, please, please get control of your friends. You're not going to be a bad friend if you call your friend out. If they label you that way, that's how you know that that's not who you need to be friends with. Hold your friends accountable. It will make the world a better place. And everyone stop playing the victim, because I swear to God, I'm so done with hearing. Did you see that DoorDash story?
The girl that went in there and the guy was naked?
Yeah, and she said he sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
By being naked in his own apartment.
What?
Yeah.
Why did you go in?
Right. Hold yourself accountable. Hold your friends accountable.
Never got punished as a kid.
No.
She did whatever she wanted.
And she was going on and on TikTok about how I'm the victim here. And everybody on TikTok is like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You walked into a homie's house.
Right.
And were offended by how he spent his alone time.
And his instructions were leave it at
the door.
That's exactly. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could put a neon sign up for you on the door to say leave here with an arrow. But that's how ridiculous we are now. Yeah. Like, dude, just you up. Own it. It is what it is.
I would never walk into somebody's house. I would never walk into someone's house without them telling me.
Never.
I don't care how, oh my gosh. Even with my friends, I would still, if I knew I could walk in without having them, like having to have them tell me because their parents wouldn't care, I would still text that I'm here, and I would still wait for them to text, come in.
Yeah.
So that I knew I was okay to go in. Never have I ever just walked in.
That girl has never been held accountable to anything. There's no way. Because no normal person that has faced any repercussions or discipline would respond that way. And unfortunately, she's just one of millions of people and examples. So anyway, I could talk to you about this all day long. It drives me crazy.
Oh, it drives me crazy too. But thank you guys for listening. I know we were a little bit all over the place, but at the end of the day, hold your friends accountable, hold your kids accountable, hold your people accountable.
Hold yourself.
Yes, because it does go far. And yes, people can tell if you've never been held accountable or if you're not being held accountable. So
punishments work. They do. They work.
Yeah.
It's why.
Even if you don't believe in hitting your kid, find something.
You got to find something better than just go sit over there for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a reason why even pro sports, you play bad, guess what? You go to practice on Monday, you're bummed out. Coach is running.
Because you're running.
Yeah. I mean, punishments work. I don't care.
Yes.
Dude, send your kid for a mile run if they mess up as a punishment.
That would have been a punishment for me.
Exactly. Just do something. Please.
Do something. But anyway, I'll be interested to see how people respond to this. But
your dad's an asshole. He's so mean.
They're not gonna like me either because I'm agreeing with you. They'll be like, another one lost to the misogynistic ways of the Gen X parents.
Yeah, exactly. Misogynistic. Oh, don't even get me started.
Well, anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have a good topic come up. Whoa. Hopefully we'll have come up with a good topic by then.
Or share one. Give us one.
Yeah, or share one. Give us one that you want to hear us talk about, just candidly, and we will. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next Thursday.
See you later.